So doing the oil change on the 2013 Passat, first thing you need to do, first thing we need to do is get it up where you can get underneath it. I'm using ramps, you could use a jack. Once it's up, then we need to get underneath. So the next thing we need to do is remove this skid plate. And so to do that, you need Torx 25 for these little guys. And then you need the Torx 45 for these bigger ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with these smaller ones first, make it easy, and then remove the last few big ones there. So once you have removed all your Torx bolts, then you'll just drop this down and slide it out and remove the skid plate. So now that the skid plate's removed, we're going to go ahead and remove this bolt. So the oil plug bolt is a 3/4, and what you want to do is get ready to catch that oil with a pan when you remove it. So you get your pan in place like so, and then when you remove that bolt, the oil will flow into your catch pan.
I'm gonna hit this part.
Well done.
Oh, I got one drop because the towel slid.
Oh, how dare you.
One drop.
Alright, so now that your oil is done draining from your oil pan, we need to replace the filter. To do that, we have to loosen the oil cover that's holding it in place, and we've broken it loose, and I'm just going to spin it off.
Oh, the filter's
And there's your
gonna come with
filter
it.
right there. And so when we replace it, we'll take that filter out and we'll put the new filter in and screw it back into place. Our replacement filter that we're using is this one right here, and we're using 5 weight 40 weight full synthetic. You can talk to your local auto store and see what they recommend for you if you want something different, but that's what we're filling in this one. So now that the oil is done draining from both your oil pan drain plug and also your oil filter, we're gonna go ahead and put the drain plug back on, snug it, and then just tighten it down a little bit more, and then we'll move on to the oil filter. Now that we have this off, the next thing we need to do is replace the oil ring, little gasket that seals it up. So we'll remove that one out of there, put a new one in.
It was going well.
So now when you put this O-ring in, you want to put a little light oil on it. So lightly oil, and then replace it in where you took the other one out.
Here we go.
So next we're going to put our oil filter in.
I think that's it all.
Yep. And then we'll pour a little bit of oil in there to pre-seat it, because you don't want to start the car with no oil in this.
In the middle?
Yep.
A little bit more? Or?
Yeah, a little bit more. Okay, that's good. That's good. And then we'll just keep it like that and take it and screw it back in. It could take a second to get it lined up just the way you want it. And then you should be able to get it hand tight. And then you'll come back over with your oil wrench and just tighten it a little bit more. And so we'll wipe that dry, and then we'll just tighten it with the quarter turn. Good. And that's it. You're better off not over tightening to cause any leak or damage. If this was dripping just a little, same with the drain plug, then you could go ahead and just snug them a little bit more after the fact. But now we're ready to go ahead and put the oil in. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the oil cap and we'll fill it up. We'll just start with our 5-quart container and then we'll check. You could either use a funnel or pour it straight in, whatever works for you. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this up with our 5 quarts and then we'll do a check and see what the fill level is. Okay, so before we actually start it, we added the 5 quarts in. We're just gonna make sure that oil is present in there, which it is. We'll wipe it up. We're gonna start it, run it for a couple minutes and then turn it back off so we can check our oil level. Start it, I'll get underneath and I'll look. Just do this for a couple minutes. If you see a leak in one of these 2 spots, then you'll just tighten it a little bit more. But it looks like we should be good. I'm gonna let it run for another minute or 2. Turn it off. I don't want the oil super hot. I'm just warming it up, pumping it through the system. And then I'm gonna let it sit for a minute, and then I'm gonna check and see what the oil level is. So we'll pull the dipstick out, we'll wipe it clean so that we can get a good reading on it. It's been a couple minutes. And then just take a good look at it, see where your oil level's at, and then just make sure it sits between the minimum and maximum. If you need more oil, then you would add. All right, so we're adding 1 more quart. When you look at the oil level on the dipstick, it was just starting to hit the dipstick. It wasn't even in the minimum to maximum range. So we're adding a full quart, and we're gonna check again. So we're at 6 quarts. Where do you feel like it's at?
It's in the range now.
All right.
There it is.
So 6 quarts. I think I saw somewhere that this takes 6.3 quarts, but we like to be careful and not over add. It's easier to just add a little bit more. The last step is to reinstall the skid plate, and then to finish this job we need to reset the system that the oil change has been completed, and we'll show that next. So to install the skid plate again, just line up the tabs at the far end, slide it into place.
Okay.
Okay, so as you can see, we've got the service now on this. We just completed the oil change. So the first step is to have your key in the on position. And once you've done that, you select your settings. And then from the settings menu, you'll select the service sub-menu. And then once you select the service sub-menu, you select reset option. And then press OK. Service has been reset. And that's it. So now when we turn off the key and then start the car, we should no longer see the service now button. And we're good. And that completes changing the oil on your Passat. I hope you guys found this video helpful and informative. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.